Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to session number 3 of our study of the Nectar of Instruction at the level of Bhakti Sastri. I'd like to begin by offering some prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Sarasati Devi Kauravani Precharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'd like to begin this evening. We'll have a review of what we've been studying so far. We began with the preface, and we were hearing Srila Prabhupada introduce to us the importance of Srila Rupa Goswami. I'd like some of you, I'd like all of the people listening to class, I'd like your participation in this. I'll ask some questions and you can answer, you can raise your hands. You know how to utilize your monitor. So it will be nice to hear from the students to get some participation there. And those of you who are not English speaking, you can also raise your hands and your translator will translate what you say. We don't mind. Don't feel shy. Right? So I was looking over the student handbook, and in the student handbook a number of points are made which we have to consider, the objectives of our learning. So I just want to make sure we've got everything clear. So giving an overview of the Upadesh Amrita, right? We began, or the Upadeshamrita begins, speaking about the importance of, would someone like to say? One of our class members, tell us what is the main topic of the first verse? Prabhu, you're monitoring this, you tell me, people raise their hands?
Yes.
Have we got some hands raised?
Yes. We have Anandini, Radhika Mataji and Giridharidas.
Girid Haridas, Prabhu, you can tell us what's the first verse about?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So, as far as I can remember, the first verse is telling us the importance of controlling the 6 urges.
Okay.
Namely, can I mention that?
Yes, please.
Namely, the urges of speaking, and then the urges of the demands of the mind, and then the action of the anger, and then also the urges of the tongue, belly, and the genitals.
Okay.
And that person that can control those urges can make disciples all over the world.
So, does it mean that person's a pure devotee?
I think so, Maharaj, yes, based on that.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I would I have my doubts whether or not he's really a pure devotee. He may control the senses, he may not be a devotee at all. You know, you have a lot of impersonalists and yogis. They're also expert in controlling the senses, but they don't have devotion for Krishna. So becoming a Goswami or making disciples doesn't mean that they're actually pure devotees. They still have a way to go to become a Vaishnava. Right?
I think it's the first step to become one.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's the first step. We're entering into the doorway of Bhakti. Because we want to cultivate Bhakti, we have to have some control over these. Actually, in the preface, Srila Prabhupada mentions the first business of people in the path of self-realization. Do you know what is the first business of someone in the path of self-realization?
Can I answer it also, Maharaj? It's controlling the mind and senses.
Right, yes, controlling the mind and senses. So that's the very first business. That gets us in the doorway to Bhakti. We become qualified to take up Bhakti. So thank you very much. And then we went on in the preface, Srila Prabhupada also talks about the who is leading this Krishna consciousness movement. Who did he describe? Who is the leader of this Krishna consciousness movement? Somebody knows?
Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami, right, thank you. So Rupa Goswami, could you tell me something about Rupa Goswami? Would you like to tell me briefly something about who Rupa Goswami is and why he's the leader? What's his specific contribution?
Yes, Maharaj. So, according to the description of the previous acharyas, Rupa Goswami is the principal Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world, who is serving Lalita Sakhi, and all other Manjaris are also associates of Radha Krishna. And Rupa Manjari is the chief among them. Therefore, Prabhupada says again and again that this Krishna consciousness movement is originally directed by Rupa Goswami, and we are also following him. That is why we are also called Rupanugas.
Okay. Would like to hear someone else tell us more about Rupa Goswami.
Yes, Maharaj. He collected all the data from Govinda. He is the personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is a god brother also. So
Rupa Goswami got from the diary of Govinda, right? Yeah?
yes.
And that was the basis of, what did he do with the information from the diary of Govinda?
He compiled the first book to be published in America, Nectar of Devotion in Vedashamrita, to guide our activities, to become perfect Goswamis, pure Vaishnavas, and make our lives successful.
Oh yeah, so he compiled the Upadesh Amrita at least, based on the notes of Govinda. The Upadesh Amrita was based on that. Right? And we also, what some more things Rupa Goswami did? Someone else like to tell us? Anybody else's hands up, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes? Whose hand is up?
Balakrishna Das Gita into Vekha Mataji.
Balakrishna Das, Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj. Just as Lord Krishna imparted the Bhagavatam to Lord Brahma in his heart,
I think the lines are
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also imparted this spiritual knowledge of Bhakti to Rupa Goswami as his direct disciple. And so
Rupa Goswami also wrote down the Nectar of Devotion as well, which is a detailed explanation.
My request is that please wait for his
Very good.
when we call it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, Lord Brahma received the Vedic knowledge from Lord Krishna. You could say also Srimad Bhagavatam, that was also given to Brahma. Yes, okay. We specifically mentioned the Vedic knowledge at the beginning of the creation. The Vedic knowledge. So in the same way, Lord Chaitanya instructed Rupa Goswami for 10 days and then sent him to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, what was he doing? Beside writing books, what did he do? Yes, Prabhu?
Can I answer that, Maharaj?
Okay.
Rupa Goswami has conquered lots of lost Leela places of Sri Krishna and also constructed many temples as well.
Yes, generally he is attributed with the Radha Govinda Ji temple in Vrindavan, which was the biggest temple in Vrindavan. It was initially 7 layers, 7 levels, but Aurangzeb, when the Muslim invaded, they reduced it to 3 levels. So Rupa Goswami, although he was in elderly age by the time before, and he had left the body even before it was completed, but because the deity Radha Govinda was his deity and he was the main initiator behind the temple, so he's given the credit. I think later on the temple was finished by Jiva Goswami. So Rupa Goswami built the temple, and the purpose of building the temple was to show people how to worship the deities, what should be the proper standard of deity worship. Not just to build a big temple, but to actually show people how to worship the Lord in his deity form, and what should be the proper standard. So Rupa Goswami did that. That was one of the instructions from Lord Chaitanya. Another thing Rupa Goswami did was to excavate the different places of Krishna's pastimes there in Vrindavan. Of course, he got help from Lord Chaitanya and other people. But we see Rupa Goswami was very active. The 2 brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, they came there to Vrindavan in their older age. They were not so young, because they retired from their work, where they were working under the Mohammedan government, Nawab Hussain Shah. They gave up that work to come to Lord Chaitanya, to take up service under Lord Chaitanya's mission. So Rupa Goswami also established what's the correct behavior for people in different ashrams, different orders of life. So, a very great contribution to Krishna consciousness. So he's recognized as the leader of the 6 Goswamis. Although he is the younger brother of Sanatan, he is considered like the leader. And then we spoke also about Srila Prabhupada's connection. How did Srila Prabhupada connect to Rupa Goswami? Someone like to tell us? Someone maybe who hasn't spoken?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can I speak?
Please.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhu Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada, during his earlier days, he would reside on the, in the Radha Damodar temple, where there is the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami, and he would there serve, and he would also pray to Rupa Goswami, so that he is empowered to carry out the instruction of his spiritual master, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. So, since we are considered as Rupa Nugas, we follow the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami because he is the direct disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada took shelter of Rupa Goswami for carrying out his that instruction that was given by his spiritual master.
Okay, thank you. Very kind, very nice. Yes, Srila Prabhupada also had some vision before he went to the West, right? Srila Prabhupada, while he was residing there in the rooms at Radha Damodar, it is said that Rupa Goswami appeared to him and directly told him that you go there, you go to the West, and spread the Krishna consciousness, get people to chant Hare Krishna. And Rupa Goswami told him, and I'll be with you, I'll be right there with you, so you don't have to worry. So like this, Prabhupada had a very deep relationship with Srila Rupa Goswami. Yeah, it's conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami, and we explained how Rupa Goswami, he works under the supervision of Lord Chaitanya. And we are, as Maharaji said, we are Rupa Nugas. We are following Rupa Goswami. What was taught to Rupa Goswami by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami has put in the Upadeshamrita. And we're following that. So we're following these teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami. Therefore, we are Rupanugas. Rupa Goswami he's also given us very nice, complete definitions of Bhakti Yoga and renunciation. So we take these definitions very much to heart, and they become part of our lifestyle, our mindset in following Rupa Goswami. Okay. How can the Upadesha, following the Upadeshamrita, how can it improve our attitude in Krishna consciousness? Anyone would like to say? The attitude, remember we spoke about attitude? What did Prabhupada say about attitude? Anyone remember?
Yes.
Manoj?
Hare Krishna. We should become fearless, and that's what Prabhupada was saying. And we keep a steady attitude.
Yeah, it's mentioned in the preface. Does someone like to help him? Yes?
Yes, Maharaj. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. The follower of Krishna consciousness movement should be a perfect Goswami.
You know, please try to put your hand up before you speak out. You know, you're very...
My hand is up, Maharaj.
Huh?
My hand is up. My hand is up.
No.
What Maharaj is saying is, please wait for your turn. So many students will raise their hands, and then Maharaj will choose who will speak. Then you can speak. So otherwise what will happen is 2 or 3 people speak at the same time, there may be confusion. So our request is that you can raise your hand and wait for your name to be called, then you can speak. Alright. Thank you for raising your hand.
Noted.
Alright, so everything depends on the attitude of the disciple. Our attitude in performing devotional service. The attitude is very important. That attitude should be proper. The attitude should be that we are surrendering to Krishna and we genuinely desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. That's the proper attitude. We depend on Krishna and Krishna's mercy, and we try our best to be worthy of Krishna's mercy. Unlike the other, jnanis and yogis and karmis, they're all working on their own. By their own efforts, they do everything. But a devotee understands we're dependent on the mercy of Krishna. So we have to become worthy recipients of Krishna's mercy. We pray to Krishna. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, become an instrument in my service. So like that, we think of ourselves as simply an instrument in the service of Krishna. This should be our attitude as devotees. So the Upadeshamrita is guiding us in cultivating this proper attitude. All right, so we'll go on to look at the first text which we discussed, right? We remember, maybe you remember we were speaking the first text. Has anyone memorized the text yet? Somebody knows the text by heart? Without looking at the book, I know you can read, but can you say it without looking? Please tell us. What's your name?
Upadikari Maharaj.
Okay, Prabhu, would you like to tell us the first verse? Right? You're not going to read it, right? You're going to say it. Right? We know you can, everybody can read it, but have you memorized it yet?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Many participants, actually many have raised their hands.
Okay, so tell me the name. Gita Indulekha Maharaji will tell us the first verse.
Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udaropastha vegam etan vegan yo vished dhira sarvam api imam prithvim sashishyat.
Yes, you know the translation also?
Yes, Maharaj. A person who knows to control the urges of the belly, tongue, genitals, and the mind demands actions of the anger can make disciples is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
No. Okay, you forgot one, the urge to speak.
Yes, so sorry, I have to speak.
Okay, very good. Do you know the meaning Vega? What does it mean, Vega?
Vega means the urge.
The urge, right, the Vegas, the different Vegas, the urge to speak.
Yes.
The mind's demands, and Vacho Vegam. Yes. Manasa Krodha Vegam, right? So, now some people, they may try to control the urge to speak in the wrong way. Just like sometimes people will do monavrat, they'll make a vow of silence. So is that effective? Will that help us to become Krishna conscious?
No.
Why not?
Maharaj.
Why not?
We should always speak about the glories and about the names, forms and qualities of Krishna, and we should never keep mantra. It's not, then how will we glorify Krishna? Actually, we have to change from material to spiritual, not talk about mundane subject matters, and we should talk about Krishna and his glories. And even Krishna becomes happy by this. Bhagavad Gita, there are shloks in which Krishna said, "Na tasman manusheshu kaschit me priyakritama." So Krishna also wants us to preach about him.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good. Yes, some people will often try to control the urges in the wrong way. Just like, we'll ask somebody else, let's hear from some other devotee. What would be a good way, what would be the manner in which the impersonalists try to control their mind? We can ask. Sureshwara Mataji. Yes, Mataji? How do the impersonalists try to control their mind?
She will speak in Indonesian.
Okay.
Dengan mengendalikan semua indera.
By they try to they control their senses. By they try to control the urges of speech, the actions of anger, the demands of the mind, and the urges from the tongue, the genitals.
Yes, but I want to know specifically, how do the impersonalists try to control their mind?
Dengan menyibukkan diri dalam kesadaran Krishna. Oh, impersonalist.
Yes, impersonalists.
Dengan menyibukkan diri, misalnya terutama usia yang sudah usia, menyibukkan diri dengan pergi memancing, nonton TV, baca koran, atau senang-senang dengan keluarga.
She thinks that the impersonalists do with their mind by distracting it to something else, some other activities like recreational activities.
Well, usually for the impersonalists, they try to negate everything, right? So they want to make the mind blank. They don't absorb it in mundane things like sports, but they try to simply make the mind blank because they think all material activities are illusion. They say, the impersonalists will say, this world is unreal and only the Brahman is truth. So they try to make everything zero, and they want to make their mind empty. So can they do that for long? What does Mataji say? Sureshwari Mataji. What does she think? Is it possible to make the mind blank? Prabhu, are you translating?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm translating. Yeah, she answers no. We could not make our mind blank, empty our mind. We could not do that.
Why?
Iya, karena pikiran itu.
Because the mind is so restless, it's so fast. It's chanchalame, and the mind is the abode of lust. So it could not be controlled unless by engaging it in Krishna consciousness, in doing Krishna consciousness, in chanting the holy names of the Lord.
So how are you going to engage your mind? Only chanting the holy name?
tidak banyak lagi.
Not just chanting the holy names, there's also other things in Krishna consciousness where we engage our mind by joining the Sankirtan Mahayagya, following Manga Alaharati.
Yes, right.
Many things that are in connection to Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Reading Srila Prabhupada's books.
Good, yes. And thinking how to serve Krishna. Okay, so the mind has a lot to contemplate if we use it for the service of Krishna. Many books to read, many services to do. We don't need to think of the material world. All right, so the mind, and then next one was anger. Would someone like to? Oh, we heard before, one Maharaji gave a very nice description about controlling anger, right?
This last thing.
Yeah.
We have all these people
Oh.
raising their hands. Let's see who hasn't.
They're raising their hands. They want to speak about.
Oh, iya, yang tidak tahu caranya Prabhuji.
There is
Tadi
Anindini Radhika Mataji, I think, hasn't spoken.
Who?
Anindini Radhika Mataji.
Anandini Radhika Mataji. You tell us about how you would deal with anger, how you use it in the service of Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Anger, it comes because of our attachments or like our expectations on something, on some of the things. So if we decrease our desires or controlling power, so it can be like, it helps us to reduce. In the service of Krishna, like if somebody blaspheme or somebody try to hurt devotees, that time we can do that. Like how Mahaprabhu shows angry on Jagai and Madai, and he encouraged Arjuna to fight in the war. Like how Hanuman, like he lit the fire to Lanka. These 3 ways we can serve.
Okay.
Service.
So you've given us 3 examples of devotees who used anger in the service of Krishna. So if somebody attacks you, are you going to get angry and attack them?
Maybe I will try to protect myself.
Yes, yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think you have a right to protect yourself. You know, what about if somebody insults you? How are you going to take it?
If my sadhana is really good, I will take it as a Krishna's mercy. It's showing to grow myself. That's what I am working with it now. If I could not able to control, I may not say in a hard way, but I will try to explain, Maharaj.
Yes, generally we're encouraged to tolerate.
Yes.
Somebody even, the example was given there in the purport when Lord Nityananda was attacked, that, he accepted it. He didn't retaliate. And when Lord Chaitanya came to punish the offenders, Lord Nityananda begged Lord Chaitanya to forgive them. So Prabhupada mentions there that a devotee will tolerate his own abuse. We saw Haridas Thakur beaten in 22 marketplaces, and he prayed to Krishna, please don't punish the people beating me. And similarly, Lord Jesus Christ, when he was nailed on the cross, he also prayed Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. So the example is there in these great devotees that, you know, they didn't harbor any bad feelings towards the people who were beating them and torturing them and doing so many terrible things to them. They tolerated. So Prabhupada said this is the mood of a devotee, but at the same time another devotee should not stand and watch, but he should want to help, he should come to the aid of that devotee. So somebody may abuse us, we may take it ourselves, but somebody else who's a devotee, we hope they will come to our defense and they will protect us and establish our position. We see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see an example how Srivas Pandit was, somebody had put a lot of paraphernalia for worshipping demigods in his backyard. And so the next morning, everything was there. There was wine and different terrible, contaminated things, all paraphernalia for worshipping demigods. And Srivas just said yes. But the other Brahmins just came and they knew it was nothing to do with Srivas. And they had a sweeper come and clear the whole place and purify everything. They knew that Srivas had nothing to do with any of these things. So that's the idea. We want to have such a good position that, people will not think anything bad of us. And if somebody does have some malice, some bad feeling towards us, we just tolerate it. It's a test of Krishna to take away our false ego. All right? So anger, then the urge, then we hear about the urges of the tongue and the belly and the genitals. Now, there's a question here I was noticing, one of the questions which is asked there in relation to this text number 1. It said, why should one avoid palatable dishes even while eating prasadam? Anyone like to reply to this question? Do we have some hands up?
Excuse me, Maharaj, avoid, what is that?
Why should one avoid palatable dishes?
Oh, palatable dishes.
Even while eating prasadam. Yes? We will ask Ratin Singha. Would you like to reply, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Pranam. Yeah, so we should also avoid palatable dishes even if they are prasad, because the prasadam is meant to be honored, prasad seva. But if we are taking only the palatable dishes and we become choosy, then actually we are taking it as a matter of sense gratification. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also instructed that bhalo na khave, bhalo na karibe. So this vairagya is also one of the important factors of a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Therefore, to invoke the mood that we honor prasadam in attitude of service, therefore we should not distinguish that I only will take the palatable ones and I will not take the simple ones. Therefore, we can, you mentioned in the previous class that when Prabhupada used to distribute his Mahaprasad, he used to mix everything so that devotees do not distinguish.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Very nice. Any other devotee wants to contribute to this? Any other points which Prabhu did not cover? Anyone?
The devotee's attitude is that he will
Haribol, Prabhu, please. No,
Krishna
you have to follow the procedure, We have to say your name, Don't just speak out, Right? We want to give everyone an opportunity to speak, You're very enthusiastic.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes?
Hare Krishna.
No, just a minute.
Yes. Ananta Vijay Prabhu, so we are seeing you can raise your hand on the participant list. Then Maharaj will ask one of you to speak. Then you can speak, okay?
Yeah, we have a lot of enthusiastic devotees
But
here.
it's nice that so many people want to give answers.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got some hands up here. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
I think Ananta Vijay Prabhu doesn't know how to raise his means maybe he doesn't know. That's why he's speaking so that we can.
All right, maybe Shilpa Shyam Maharaji would like to say something.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please send some humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Please continue, Mataji. Shilpa Shyam Mataji. Please.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
So, as Prabhupada says in the verse that because the prasad is too palatable, we might overeat. We might eat too much of it, and then in that way we become prey to satisfying the demands of our tongue.
The prasadam is too palatable. Did we become prey to what?
So if the prasadam is too palatable, we will overeat.
Oh, right. We will overeat. Right.
We will eat too much of it, and then in that bargain, then it's just we are satisfying our tongue. We get, yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Prabhupada mentions like that if it's too palatable, if we take the palatable dishes, the tendency will be to eat more. And when we eat more, then what happens?
Then then it's just we are satisfying our belly and our genitals.
Okay, right. Puts more weight on the belly and leads to uncontrolled senses. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so controlling the urge to the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. And Prabhupada talks about here, the question is also there. Why does the Krishna consciousness movement encourage marriage? I'm sure marriages will have some answers for this, don't they? Yes, can we have some hands up? Yes. Don't see too many new hands. Adi Raj Das. Adi Raj Das. Yes, Prabhu.
So the Krishna consciousness movement, as Srila Prabhupada said, encourages marriage, not for the satisfaction of the genitals, but for begetting Krishna conscious children and training them by sending them to Gurukul and to become fully Krishna conscious devotees.
Okay. So how do we get good quality children?
By following proper regulations and rules before begetting a child.
Yes, we have to beget children according to religious principles. Right? It's a science. Generally, people are ignorant. They don't know the science, how to beget good children. But it's a science, and it's very clearly described in Vedic literature, what the procedure is. So when couples will follow like that, then they can be sure to get good quality children. So we need children. Children are very important for our movement because they're the future of our movement. If our children don't become devotees, then in the future there may be no more temples. The temples will be empty. So it's really important that our children should be nice devotees. We should give a lot of attention to the most important part of our devotee care program is taking care of children and the youth and helping them come into Krishna consciousness. Very, very important work. So it begins with the conception, from the time of conception. You want to get good children, the mother and father are responsible.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. All right, so we spoke, text 1 describes controlling these different urges. We've spoke about the different methods of sense control through the application of Krishna consciousness, and we spoke also about the unauthorized processes of sense control, which don't lead to Krishna consciousness. Now it's pointed out that if these urges are not controlled, then the result is, and that's shown in text number 2. From text 1, follows, when the urges are not controlled, then what happens? And the 6 qualities are mentioned, which lead to our fall down in spiritual life, which stop our advancement in Krishna consciousness. So we want to look at these 6 items which were mentioned, right? 6, who knows the verse? These, again, the memorization verses, right? Would someone like to volunteer? Let me see, who knows the verse? Balakrishna Prabhu, do you know the verse? Oh, you're the interpreter, no?
Yes, Maharaj.
Oh,
yes.
let me ask somebody else.
Yeah.
What about Dakshina Rani Mataji? Do you know the verse, 2nd verse?
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me, Maharaj?
Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. The 2nd verse is Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa niyama graha jana sangascha laulyam cha sadbir bhakti vinasyati. The translation is someone devotional service is spoiled if they doing the following activity. Too much collecting money or too much eating, overeating, dehara and pressure, too much endeavoring for mundane material thing which is difficult to get, engage in gossiping or mundane talk, materialistic talk, following principle, following rule and regulation, not for advancement of bhakti, but just for the sake of following it, or just doing whimsically, not following at all the rule and regulation, and being greedy.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Can you tell me now about Atyahara?
Atyahara means too much eating, or overeating, or collecting more than what is necessary. Like suppose we need collecting money for our just enough for our maintenance, but instead we just collecting more and more, like to become rich or something like that. Or the simple thing is also like suppose I just need some pair of sari which is enough for my daily activities and going to temple, but instead of that I just like collecting many different type of sari because of it is like a nice color or nice style or something like that, just for the sake of having it.
So do you have any good plan how to control this Atyahara? Try
to have a simple life as possible. Like Srila Prabhupada always said, a simple life, high thinking. So just take as much as needed for the basic need of our life. Like how much is needed for taking care of family life, like paying school for the children, like for the taking care of the tax government or something like that, and not take too much from that. And our belonging, as much as possible, just take as much as necessary. So if it's not needed, no need to what to say, to collect it just for the sake of collecting it.
Okay, yes, very good. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So Atyahara, the whole world is guilty. You know, we're all suffering because of this Atyahara principle. Because people in general all want more than what they actually need, what is actually necessary. And because of this Atyahara, there's so much development. We showed in the other class how much food is wasted and how much problems there are to dispose, the old motor cars and the old refrigerators, the old televisions, you know, millions of these things. And they accumulate all over the planet, everywhere. People have televisions, refrigerators, then they get more, they want air conditioners, then motor cars, motorbikes. You know, people used to have bicycles. I used to see people everywhere on bicycles, but then it's all replaced now with motorbikes. And after motorbikes, it becomes motor cars. And the problems are immense. More and more things, littering everywhere. And houses. They want bigger houses, more houses. So this is all Atyahara. And because of Atyahara, then the next thing is prayashas. Over-endeavoring. Because of the greed, then we make great efforts to get more. Intense efforts. Prayashas. So, we have to be very conscious of these things and not to be too much entangled with all these desires. Prabhupada, if you read the Ishopanishad, Prabhupada gives the example in one of the mantras, the purport to one of the mantras in Sri Ishopanishad. Srila Prabhupada gives the example about a fever. How the body is meant to have a temperature which is a healthy level, but people want to increase the temperature. They want to bring the temperature higher to the condition of a fever. And they have a fever, they want to increase the temperature even more. Instead of bringing the temperature down to the healthy level, they think they have to increase the temperature. So our material life is a lot like that. A lot of desires, a lot of greed, and we have to try to regulate it. Similarly with eating, you know, there are restaurants, you can go 24 hours a day. They're there serving meals to people. People are not regulated. They go and eat all times of the day and night. And not only eating, but they do a lot of drinking as well. So people are very unregulated in their habits. And this creates a lot of bad health. Because the tongue is uncontrolled, because they're unregulated, so people suffer. their health is very poor. Okay, so Atyahara Prayashas Prajalpa. Who would like to explain to us about Prajalpa? Can we see some hands up? Om Adhikari would like to tell us about Prajalpa. Om Adhikari?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Yes, Maharaj. Prajalpa means talking unnecessarily, like we always talk about others, we always, talking behind the others, what they are doing, what they are having in the personal life. So this means this unnecessary talking about the other people. We are not concerned about the Krishna consciousness. We are always bothered about what people are doing, what others are doing in their day-to-day life. So Prajalpa means we have to avoid all this thing.
Yes, very true. So what do we need to do to avoid it?
We have to talk only about the Krishna consciousness and how we have to talk about the Krishna, we have to glorify the Krishna. We should always avoid this thing.
Won't it become boring if we just only speak about Krishna?
No, Maharaj, we have to, put our mind in the right track so that we should always talk about Krishna only. We have to, all the thing is about the controlling our mind, and also we have to always put our mind in the right track so that our mind doesn't look for this nonsense thing.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of nectar in Krishna. There's so much nectar in Krishna. We have to find the nectar, we have to taste the nectar. Someone else there to tell us more about Prajalpa, the dangers of Prajalpa and how we're going to counteract it? Oh, Ronak Agarwal Prabhu would like to tell us maybe.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prajalpa basically means talking about mundane worldly affairs. When we associate with non-devotees, then they generally talk about things which are of not really our interest, like of other people or some material achievements, some material gains or exploitation and other factors. So when we keep on listening to these things, or when we indulge in talking these things, then actually our mind gets polluted, and then we are not able to focus on ourselves. It's better to avoid it, and it's better to, whenever we talk about glories of Lord or the glories of His devotees, followers, and in this way we can control our habit of just talking mundane things.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, very nice. Yes, nonsense talk. Prajalpa means nonsense talk, means nonsense thought, as Prabhu said. Our minds become polluted by talking nonsense. And nonsense thought will lead to nonsense actions. And when we do nonsense activities, it will lead to birth and death again. In other words, we'll stay in the material world. So very important for us not to become a victim of Prajalpa. One of the serious problems with Prajalpa is, as everyone has said, when we talk Prajalpa, we talk about other people and we will commit offenses. There's a danger that by talking about others, we will be committing Vaishnava aparad. And that's very serious, and it's very detrimental, very damaging to our progress in Krishna consciousness. So we have to be very careful to guard against talking Prajalpa. Always chant and speak about Krishna. We have nice devotees. They could chant so many nice slokas, different tunes. I think it was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami he could chant the different slokas in the Bhagavatam in 3 different tunes, 3 different melodies, every verse. So there's so many things we have to learn in Krishna consciousness. We don't have time for nonsense talk. Whenever people would come with some nonsense talk, he would just say, I'm very busy, I have a lot of service to do. So that's what to do. You don't need to hear, just say, I'm sorry, I'm too busy, I don't have time to talk. These things. Okay, Prajalpa. Now, next we have Niyamagraha. Who's going to explain this very interesting topic? Do we have some volunteers for this topic? Niyamagraha? Yes, Santana Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna Maharaj, Pranam. So, with respect to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You can explain to me first the meaning of Niyamagraha and how it has 2 meanings.
So, Niyama is basically rules and regulations, and Niyam Agraha together combines to make it attachments to these rules and regulations. So, I think for this particular verse, attachment to, this particular word or item, attachment to rules and regulations in general can lead to one just mechanically performing different activities and not understanding what they're doing. And when there is no understanding, then if something becomes mechanical over a period of time, either one may lose interest in doing it, or one just loses the purpose of why he is doing what he is doing. And in Krishna consciousness, that is not very useful, because if you're not conscious, the word Krishna conscious means that you're consciously doing service to Krishna and not just mechanically trying to do some service.
Okay. Yeah, so you're explaining the eagerness to, let me see, there's 2 parts to this Niyamagraha, right? Can we hear from somebody else? Oh, let's see, who else? Manishi Prabhu would like to tell us something about this? Because it's a very important topic. Manishi?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Niyamagraha itu adalah sebenarnya mengalpakan aturan.
So the other part is that completely disregarding rules and regulations and doing something independently, whimsically, according to one's own whims.
Yes.
Yeah, so the other part of Niyamagraha is not following the regulative principles and just doing according to one's own whims, one's own thinking, like that, and not following.
Okay, yes. Can you give us some examples? Somebody being eager to accept the rules and regulations. What's their motivation? Why are they eager to accept the rules and regulations?
Motivasi untuk mengikuti aturan itu adalah meningkatkan
So the motivation for following the rules and regulations is how to increase our attachment to Krishna, to increase our progress in Krishna consciousness. that should be the motivation of following the rules and regulations.
Yes, but we're talking about niyam agraha. Niyam agraha means that they're attached, they're eager to accept the rules and regulations, but not for Krishna consciousness, for some other reason. Is right? Niyam is the rules and regulations, and then you've got agraha, which is to accept the rules, and agraha to reject. One is accepting the rules, and one is rejecting. Now both of them have got a problem. The one who accepts the rules and regulations, he also has a problem, because he's not thinking about Krishna consciousness. He's got some other purpose. He wants some material. He wants to get some material. You see, some people, they're eager to accept the rules and regulations, but they're only thinking about some material benefit. That they'll get something.
Yeah.
They'll get something, they'll get some, you could call it ajahara. You know? Yes? Does Manisi want to say something? You understand? Yeah?
Aturan itu dia berada dalam zona nyaman dan dia menikmati aturan-aturan seperti itu. Namun di sisi lain dia tidak meningkatkan spiritualnya, tidak mau meningkatkan.
So he follows the rules and regulations because it's like his comfort zone, but without any understanding of why to follow the rules and regulations.
Well, yeah. He doesn't understand about Krishna consciousness, and he's not even thinking about Krishna consciousness. He's thinking about his material desires. And he's thinking that by doing this, I will get material prosperity. In other words, they think Krishna consciousness is like some kind of karma kanda practice. You know, dharma leads to artha. So they think it's material religion, and it's going to lead to economic development and sense gratification. So that's the problem. That's the niyam agraha. They're thinking they'll get material benefit from it. It's not pure devotion. Rupa Goswami is teaching pure devotion, the path of pure devotion. But if people are doing the devotion like that, thinking about getting material benefit, that is not pure devotion. They may be following the rules and regulations, but the attitude is not right. Right? Remember, we said the attitude is very important. You have to have the right attitude. And if we're thinking, I chant Hare Krishna, I'm a devotee, Krishna should give me. Krishna should provide everything I want for my sense gratification. Then that is not pure devotion. That is not the mood of the pure devotee. So this is rejected. This is one of the fall downs in devotional service. That if we have that kind of thinking, that I'm doing this devotion for my benefit, for my material benefit, then it's not right. So that has to be avoided. There's two parts to the niyam agraha, right? The other part is acting independently and whimsically, We don't follow any rules and regulations. We don't follow scriptures. What's the verse that says we have to follow scriptures? You know, anyone knows some verses there? There's one verse which comes up in Nectar of Devotion. Shruti smriti puranadi pancharatriki vidim vinam aikantiki harer bhaktir utpadayaiva kaupate. Devotional service has to be performed according to the Shruti, the Smriti, the Puranas, the Itihasas. Otherwise, it's simply a disturbance to society. So the devotional service must be performed with the correct attitude for the pleasure of Krishna. That's the idea, right? So, niyamagraha. Right? Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha. Then janasanga. What kind of association is this? We'll hear some people tell us about janasanga. Association with who? Yes, Archana Bhakti, is it? Archana Bhakti Radha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Maharaj, sorry.
Hare Krishna, oh, okay.
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, this says that we should avoid association with those people who are completely into, they are non-devotees. They are not interested in Krishna consciousness, and they are only interested in material things. So we should not take their association, as in we should not, we cannot avoid completely not associating with worldly people, but we should rather give association rather than take association. We should avoid taking those things from them. Rather, we should try and inspire them to take up Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
That is what I understand, Maharaj.
Very nice, yes. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Let's hear somebody else also. We have Ganga Prasad. Ganga Prasad Das. Ganga Prasad Das Prabhu. Like to tell us about Janasanga?
Janasanga, he said we should avoid the association of those who are not at all interested in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, can you categorize them? Please categorize them, the people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. What categories do they come under? Yes?
One is Bhakti Kamis and Siddhi Kamis. Bhakti Kamis, Siddhi Kamis.
One more. There's one more kind. Bhakti
Kamis, Mukti Kamis, and Siddhi Kamis.
Okay, Bhakti Kamis, Siddhi Kamis, Mukti Kamis.
Mukti Kamis.
So can you tell me, explain these people? Bhakti Kami is what?
Bhakti Kamis are interested in material happiness.
Okay.
The Mukti Kamis desire liberation.
Yes.
The Siddhi Kamis desire mystic powers, mystic perfections.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not going to associate with these people?
Because they will not give you Krishna prem or devotional service to Krishna.
Can you give it to them?
If they are receptive, yes. But if they will be a cog in your own progress, you have to let them be.
Okay. Lord Chaitanya gave instruction, because Lord Chaitanya was asked, how to recognize a devotee. Because it said we should associate with devotees. So that then the devotees said, how will we recognize who is a devotee? So does anyone know? How did Lord Chaitanya reply? Chaitanya Charitamrita says, let me see, have we got some hands up for that? Some people know? Radha Kishori Devidasi?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on 3 different occasions answered this question in 3 different ways. In the first instance he said, somebody who's even taken the name of Krishna even once is to be considered a devotee. And on the second instance, he said that somebody who is following the process of Krishna consciousness properly is supposed to be a devotee. And in the third instance, he said that by seeing someone, the other people start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra or remember Krishna, he is to be considered a devotee.
Yeah, okay. Yes, very good. Yeah, there's a particular, let me see, maybe somebody else knows the verse which I'm thinking of. No. Anyway, there's a verse which is stated there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya, when asked how to recognize a devotee, he said, Asat Sangatyag E Vaishnava Achar. Right? You know the verse? Yeah? You can tell me? Radha Kishori?
No, Maharaj, I just know this part only.
No? Asat Sangha Tyag E Vaishnavachar Sastri Sangha Eka Sadhu Krishna Bhakti Ar. Right? That a devotee, Asat Sangha Tyag, he gives up the association of the Asat. Asat means the material. Right? Sat is eternal, and Asat means what is not eternal, what is material. So Asat Sangha Tyag, he's given up the association of the material. Asat Sangha Tyag E Vaishnav Achar. This is a devotee. And Sri Sangha Eka Sadhu Krishna Bhakti Ara. That also you get people who are very much involved and fond of being with the opposite sex, associating with the opposite sex. Sri Sangha, association with women, very attached to the association with the fair sex, or even to associate with people who are attached to the fair sex, then this is not good. We should give up their association. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya gave these kind of instructions to the devotees. Sometimes we think devotee means, oh, somebody's got nice neck beads, nice tilak, and but as you said, the real qualification of the devotee is that they chant the holy name, or that they give the holy name to others, and there are different levels of devotees. Okay, so we want to associate with the devotee, we want to avoid the association of the materialistic people. But as you have also said, we try to give association to those people who are willing to be receptive, who are inquisitive. Impersonalists, Mayavadis, Gyanis, Karmis, Yogis, they can also be brought to Krishna consciousness by good association. But they have to be receptive, they have to be willing to hear about Krishna and to take up Krishna consciousness. Okay, so Jnana Sangha. So, Jnana Sangha cha loyam cha, right? Ardent longing or greed. Who would like to tell us something about the final quality, this final quality which is very detrimental to our Krishna consciousness. We have some volunteers. Yes, Gita Indulekha Mataji, coming back to you. Gita Indulekha Mataji, you tell us about ardent longing or greed.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam Raj. Trividam narkasedam dwaram nashanam atmana kam krodhas tatha lobhas tasmat etat trayam trayaj. So when there is greed, it will just lead us to hell. So we should leave this greed for mundane material things. And if there is greed and desires to obtain more and more things, then we will endeavor more to obtain them, and then it will lead to prayasas, and then it will lead to prayasas. Then there will be our time for bhakti will also decrease. As Prabhupada has told, even if one is working, his time should be limited. The work time should be limited so that we can give our time to bhakti. And there is no end to greed, because even if one gets, one needs cannot be fulfilled. If get, it will increase and increase more and more. If one gets one factory, his urge to greed will be of 2, then 3. It is like burning like fire. Just like we say, it's burning like fire. It never ends burning. It's increasing again, more to gain more and more. So and it's lead to hell. So we should not be greedy.
Okay.
And we should be satisfied in what we have. Thank you.
Yes, very nice. You mentioned greed. Where does it? What's the origin of the greed?
Origin of greed is from lust. When we come in contact with the vishya, like material and subjects, then we develop attachment from them. Or from that attachments, we develop greed to obtain them.
Right. Kama esha, krodha esha,
Krodesha,
rajaguna samudbhava. Right. Born of, it is lust only, Arjun, born of contact of the mode of passion, right?
Yes.
So we have to be careful, the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. You know, this planet is situated in the middle of the universe, so it's more inclined to the mode of passion, but we want to elevate ourselves up to the mode of goodness. The whole idea of Krishna consciousness lifestyle is to come up to the mode of goodness and get free of this passion and ignorance. Yes?
Maharaj, Krishna has told us, yahi sans praja bhoga dukyo ne evate adivanta kantana teshu ramte buddha. One should not be attached to such material things which are sources of misery, because such things have a beginning and end.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to go on to text number 3. We've spoken about the 6 causes of entanglement, or the fall down into the material energy. Things which are detrimental to devotional service, which come about because of the urges not being controlled. So then in text number 3, Rupa Goswami then gives us the 6 things which will help us to bring about better devotion and progress in our Krishna consciousness, right? So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada begins by describing the different energies, talking about the different energies which are there, right? The 3 primary energies of the Lord. So who would like to answer that? What are the 3 energies of the Lord? Can we see some hands? Who have we got who didn't answer yet? Some new people? Okay, Premananda Das. What are the 3 energies of the Lord?
Energy Sri Krishna.
Raj, you means
Sorry, the 3 principal energies of Lord Krishna. Premananda Prabhu, are you going to tell us?
It's Premadana.
Oh, Premadana, is it? Sorry. No. Okay. Premadana. Ah, yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Prabhu, we cannot hear you, or maybe you are not.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Maharaj?
Yes.
First is Antaranga Sakti.
Yes.
And Bahiranga Sakti and Tatastha Sakti.
Yes, can you tell us what these are? These are very technical words. I don't know the meaning. Please. Oh, what happened?
He got disconnected, Maharaj. He dropped from the participant. This happened.
Yeah, bad signal, Maharaj.
Oh, okay.
He got disconnected.
Okay, so we heard from somebody else. Let's see. Valmiki?
Yeah, he's reconnected.
Oh, he's reconnected. Premadana's back. Premadana, Prabhu, yes? Tell us about Antaranga Shakti. What is this?
Antaranga Sakti is the external energy of the Lord, and Bahiranga Sakti is internal energy of the Lord, and Tatastha Sakti is
marginal.
The energy between the
I think you got them the wrong way round. The Antaranga and the Bahiranga. Bahiranga is external energy.
Yeah, Bahiranga is the external and Antaranga is the internal energy of the Lord.
Right. Can you
And
give...
then the Tatastha Sakti is the between of them.
So tell me, what is the external energy? Where do I find that? Can you tell me what is, can you give some examples? What is the external energy? Do you see it anywhere? Can I see it anywhere? Yeah? Premadana Prabhu? Can you give examples about the material energy, the Bahiranga Shakti?
Yes, about the creation of the universe and the living entities like that.
Well, the living entities, you said they were Tatastha Shakti.
Yeah.
But they come into the material world, right? They fall under the Bahiranga Shakti. So the Bahiranga Shakti is the material world, and the Antaranga Shakti, where is that?
Antaranga Sakti is internal energy, just like the part, just like Hamsa and Kala of the Lord, the expansion of the Lord, Maharaj.
Yeah, the spiritual world is is Antaranga Shakti, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
And the deities and the temple is Antaranga Shakti.
Yes, Maharaj.
And the Lord's paraphernalia is all Antaranga Shakti. The holy Dham Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur Dham's Antaranga Shakti. They're all holy places. They're not material. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And the living entity is the Tatastha.
Yes.
And
the Jiva is Tatastha Shakti.
Right. So the living entity desires to come into the material world, and the result is he comes under the control of the material energy. Right?
Yes, madam.
So does he have a blissful time? Is it very pleasant under the material energy?
Actually, it's not a real happiness or real enjoyment actually in this material energy. Not what is not the needed of the jiva actually in this material energy.
In what ways is he suffering?
Because if he continuingly do some activities in this material world, they will again take birth and again, and there is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi is there.
Yes.
And also get some suffering like Adhyatmika Klesa, Adibautika Klesa, Adidavaka Klesa.
Oh, yes, very good, very nice. Right. Can you tell me about these three kinds of suffering? Which one is Adibautik?
Let me slowly Adibautik Klesa is the suffering we get from another living entities.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong.
Can you give an example? What kind of living suffering from another living entity?
Just like maybe some envious person who attack us like that, and also from the animals.
Okay.
From the snake like that.
Okay. Yeah.
By scorpion.
Yes, right. Snake, scorpion, good. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Maharaj. My English is very simple.
No, it's okay. Very clear. I can understand.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.
So Adibautik, then another kind of suffering?
Adidayuka Klesa, this suffering from the nature,
right,
or from the demigod, just like a earthquake,
yes,
like a tsunami,
yes,
like a cyclone,
yeah, right,
etc. Like COVID-19, Maharaj.
Yeah, COVID-19. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And one more, Adhyatmik.
Adhyatmika Klesa is just coming from our mind, Maharaj. Our own thinking, on mind, our own desire, like that. So this
mind and also the body.
The body, yes.
Yeah, miseries of the mind and the body. Right, that's Adhyatmik. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Prema Dana.
Thank you, Maharaj. Dandawat Pranam, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All right, so the living entity has a choice between the material and the spiritual world. But in both situations, is the living entity free? Are we actually free? You know, people all want freedom. But we see in Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada's explaining how the living entity is never free, whether he's in the material world or in the spiritual world. So who's controlling under the spiritual energy? Who's controlling? Oh, we will ask Tukaram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Maharaj Prabhupada explains that living entities are not independent because they are Tatastha Shakti, marginal. So either they have to take shelter of the Antaranga Shakti, which comprises of Srimati Radharani or Lakshmi or Sita, And if not in a spiritual energy, it will take shelter of material energy under Mahamaya or Durga. Under the shelter of Antaranga Shakti, so they'll call Mahatma. Mahatma Namastu Mahapartha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. Because they are under Daivim Prakriti, so their activity is Bhajante Ananya Manaso. That means to satisfy the senses of the Lord and engaging in Krishna consciousness. But when they take shelter of external energy, then their activity is to satisfy their sense gratification, either their own sense gratification, or sometimes they reject their own sense gratification for extended sense gratification of society or country or human philanthropic activities, etc.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, very nice. So we heard about the miseries of the living entity and how he's suffering and how we can choose to be controlled either by the spiritual energy or the material energy. Okay, we're going on to text number 3. We want someone to recite that for us. Who's learned the Sanskrit? Text number 3. We have someone? Let's see, yeah. We have Shankara Das.
Tiga.
Shankara Prabhu.
Saya mau jawab tentang Tata Sakti tadi, boleh?
He is still in the previous topic. He wants to answer about Tata Sakti.
Oh, really?
His raised hand is for that.
Okay, well, was it something really important?
Menyambung masalah yang dibicarakan tadi, boleh Maharaj?
Can he add a little bit?
Okay, all right.
Jadi makhluk hidup berada dalam tataran disebut Tata Sakti, dia berada di
So the living entity as the marginal potency, just like the in the beach, sometimes it's covered by the ocean water, sometimes it's dry. So
sehingga makhluk hidup tersebut disebut duratma karena dia berada dalam pengaruh tenaga eksternal Tuhan. Nah, karena dia berada dalam tataran Tuhan sifat, iya.
So
ya, dalam ketidakberuntungannya dia berada dalam kegiatan-kegiatan yang menghambat Bhakti dan dia sedang berada dalam tataran rajas tamas. Dan para makhluk hidup disebut yang seperti itu disebut para duratma, mereka yang tidak percaya dengan Tuhan Yang Maha Esa.
As the marginal potency, they have that freedom of choosing whether they will be under the influence of the Bahiranga Shakti or the Antaranga Shakti. Under the influence of Bahiranga Shakti, it is due to influenced by the lower modes of material nature like Rajas and Tamas, and then these the living entity in this category is called the Duratma.
Okay, all right.
And
okay, thank you very
Ada
much.
dua jenis makhluk hidup, yang satu makhluk yang tidak beruntung yang dijelaskan tadi sebagai duratma karena dia berada.
So there are two types of living entities. The first is the Duratma, which is the unfortunate one, and the Mahatma is the fortunate one.
Yes? Is he going to explain the difference? Why is one fortunate? Why is one unfortunate? What's the difference? What are they doing? Not
He's
here.
still muted.
He's muted, huh? Oh. Okay, I think we've taken enough time. We have to go on, you know.
Bisa. Ya.
Yes, please continue, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. We want to go into text number 3. 6 items were described which are very favorable for cultivating Krishna consciousness. First of all, we could recite the verse. We wanted somebody to recite the verse for us. Maybe I will ask Ratan Singha Prabhu, do you know the verse?
Yes, Maharaj. Utsaham nisyayadharya tattat karma pravartanat shangatyaga shato vritye sadvir bhaktir prasiddhati.
Yes.
So the translation goes like this, that there are 6 favorable items for devotional service, which guarantees the success of the sadhaka in the path of devotional service. And the 6 items are Utsaha, means enthusiasm, and Nisyas means endeavoring with confidence, and patience, Dharya, and then Tattat Karma Pravartanat means acting according to the regulatory principles like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and Sangha Tyagat means leaving the association of a worldly minded person, and Sato Vritti means following the footsteps of our predecessor acharyas.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good. Would you like to tell us how to cultivate enthusiasm?
Yes, Maharaj. So we can read about, we can read the Prabhupada books and associate with devotees, and by these things we will get enthusiasm in Bhakti.
Okay, we hope so. We hope. Enthusiasm means eager for service, eagerness. Prabhupada points out, Bhakti means activity. Bhakti, some people think it's lazy idleness, but no, Bhakti means activities, right? There has to be activity, and we should be enthusiastic for these activities. Enthusiastic to serve, enthusiastic to do kirtan and to chant and to hear. This is a very important quality. Prabhupada saw that when he went to the West, devotees had no qualification, no culture, no education, no good training, but whatever he told them to do, they would do it very enthusiastically. So that was a very important quality, and it helped Krishna consciousness to spread everywhere. Enthusiasm. Okay, and then who would like to tell us next about enthusiasm? And then Utsa Nischayad. Meaning? What's the meaning? Nischayad? Can we have some hands? Nischayad? Okay, who's here? Let's see. The same people every time, yeah?
You can also ask Maharaj if you want.
Yes? Can I ask somebody?
Yes.
Maybe people just see. What about this Advaita Chandra Das? And Atmavan Das? Advaita Chandra Das, Atmavan Das? 2 people there?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes? We would like to tell, please can
Yes,
you
Maharaj, there.
tell us about these 2, Utsan, Nischayat and Daryat, patience and endeavoring with confidence. Can you tell us something?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to speak English.
Then speak Bhasa. We have interpreters. You speak Bhasa and they will translate.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, mohon diterjemahkan. Niscaya artinya yakin atau confidence,
Niscaya means confidence. Dairyat means patience. That after we try doing our devotional service, we should be patient. We should just feel rushing to get the results. We should be patient of whenever the Lord gives His mercy. So that is the result of our patience of us doing our devotional service.
What's the example Prabhupada gives in the purport to describe about patience and confidence?
Di dalam melaksanakan proses bhakti itu kita harus optimis, kita yakin bahwa kita pasti bisa pulang ke dunia rohani dengan kerohanian, kita yakin kepada beliau.
I don't hear anything.
So, yeah, so he said that in Srila Prabhupada explained that we should have optimism in endeavoring our devotional service. We should not just desire to get the results quickly.
No, but there's an example Prabhupada gives. He gives a nice analogy about being patient and confident. To explain how we have to be patient and confident in our devotion. Does somebody know this example? We'll open it up to the rest of the class. Who knows this example? Oh, some people raised their hands. Let me see. Priya Govinda Das.
Krishna Maharaj, Prabhupada mentions a newly married girl naturally expects an offspring from her husband, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Of course, for getting married, she has to be patient and surrender to her husband so that she can be able to beget a child.
Yes. In the same way, how does it apply to devotional service?
In the same way, we have to surrender to the spiritual master and execute the instruction of the spiritual master with patience, and in so doing, then we shall be able to gradually understand Krishna consciousness and advancing.
Yes, with patience and confidence. You have to have faith, trust in the instruction of the spiritual master. So in every endeavor, Prabhupada said, in every endeavor, these three things are very important. Enthusiasm, patience, and endeavoring with confidence. Prabhupada defines enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is defined as endeavoring with confidence in Krishna consciousness, endeavoring with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. In this way, Prabhupada describes the meaning of this enthusiasm, endeavoring with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. So we should try to remember this, very important, particularly in devotional service, but in everything there has to be that enthusiasm. How to be enthusiastic? One way is to associate with other people who are enthusiastic. And another thing is, we should become enthusiastic by reading and hearing about Prabhupada's life. It's very inspiring, very encouraging to hear about Prabhupada, how he was so successful in spreading Krishna consciousness. From nothing, he could build up a big empire of Krishna consciousness all over the world. So when we read about Prabhupada's life, it's very inspiring, very encouraging. We should become enthusiastic. When we read about the great devotees, not only Prabhupada, all the great acharyas, when we hear about that, we should become inspired and encouraged. All right? Then there are 3 more items, very favorable to Krishna consciousness. Tat tat karma pravartanat. Meaning? Let's see, who's going to tell us about Amala Krishnadas Prabhu and Vidyut Prabhu, Vidyut Prabha, Vidyut Prabha, huh?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Tatat karma prawartanat artinya mengikuti aturan dan peraturan yang ditetapkan, seperti misalnya mendengar, memuji, Selawanam Kirtanam Wisno Smaranam, mendengar, memuji dan mengingat nama suci Krishna.
So Tatat Karma Pravartana is following the regulative principles such as hearing and chanting and remembering the glories of Krishna.
Yes. Some people think, I follow the 4 principles. No meat, fish and egg, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. And I chant 16 rounds. Is it enough? Well, that's the very minimum. If we want to advance, we have to do this tat karma pravartanat. We have to regularly hear and chant. Then we have to worship Krishna. We have to be regulated in our devotional life. Just like in the temples, we have a morning program. So we may not be staying in the temple, we stay at home, but you can have your own morning program at home. Wake up early also. Just because you don't stay in the temple doesn't mean you don't have to wake up early. You can also wake up. And wake up early, you get the auspicious time of the day. It's more peaceful to chant. And it's easier to concentrate early in the morning. Right? So tat karma pravartanat. Again, very powerful, very important for all of us as devotees. We need to have this kind of practice. Morning program, chanting, and then evening also. Very good. If you can do it now with the lockdown, lockdown in so many places, we have a lot of time to do hearing and chanting. People are not so busy. They all have more time to chant. They're locked down in their places. Very nice. Okay, so tatkat karma pravartanat. Then sangat tyagat. Who's there? Let's see, we've got some new. Ananta Pandit Das Prabhu. Would he like to tell us about sangat tyagat? Meaning? Do you know the meaning? Sangat tyagat? Is he there? Ananta Pandit?
Yes, Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Maharaj.
Do you know the meaning? Sangat tyagat?
Sangat tyagat artinya meninggalkan pergaulan.
Renouncing the the vision of the those who are materialists.
Yes, right. Giving up the association of materialistic people.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you have any problems with that? Do you have a lot of materialistic association there?
Yes, Maharaj. Too much also.
Really? Where? In your work?
Yes, Maharaj.
In your job?
Yes, in office also many materialistic person, Maharaj, and also in our family also many also materialistic.
They're not devotees?
Yeah, not devotee. It's very difficult to also avoid that association, but we must have a commitment to avoid that association, Maharaj.
Yes. Yes, sometimes difficult situations. You have to be tolerant. Are you able to chant the holy name in their presence?
Yes, Maharaj.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are they vegetarian? No.
Yes, they respect with us. Sometimes they give us also the vegetarian food. They buy to the restaurant vegetarian devotee. So they give us the salad sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Very good. So association is there. And then Satovrite, the last item. Who's like to comment for this Satovrite? Let's see who's not spoken. We got some new people here. Oh, Bankim Govinda Das. Bankim Govinda Das Prabhu?
Hare Maharaj.
Yes. Can you tell us about Satovrite?
Yeah, Satovrite means following the footsteps of the previous acharyas.
Okay.
So, we have to learn the truth by approaching our spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively.
Yes.
And read his books, read Prabhupada's books.
Okay. Following in the footsteps. Are you going to follow in Prabhupada's footsteps?
Yes, Maharaj.
In what way? Are you going to go to America and start a worldwide movement?
No, abiding by his teachings and instructions through his books, whatever he has given.
Okay. Study his books. Yeah, like Prabhupada, worship Krishna, chanted the holy name of Krishna, told people about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya told the Brahmin at Kurmadesh, Yari deke tarikaho Krishna Upadesh, right? Wherever you go, whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. The Kurma Brahmin wanted to leave his home, but Lord Chaitanya said, no, you don't have to leave the home. You stay here and just tell everybody about Krishna. And in this way you become the spiritual teacher. We don't have to imitate, we have to follow in the footsteps. Follow the example, to be Krishna conscious. So we can be Krishna conscious everywhere. Krishna is everywhere. Wherever we go, that's Krishna's energy. So everything can be used in Krishna's service. That is also that is also following in Prabhupada's footsteps. Prabhupada taught us use everything for the service of Krishna. Right? You have some land, you use it to grow tulsi, or you use it to build a temple if you want. If you have a lot of money, you can build a temple. If you don't have a lot of money, you can grow tulsi there. And if we have family members, we try to give them some Krishna consciousness. Try to preach to them, expose them to Krishna. Okay, so this is Sato Vritti. Let me see, we've got some, what questions does Prabhupada ask us here? Oh, the 9 processes of devotional service. I assume everybody knows these, the 9 processes of devotional service. And then, what is the meaning of Avashya Rakshabe Krishna? Mentioned there in the purport. Avashya Rakshabe Krishna. This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is Bengali language. You see, Prabhupada also was brought up in Calcutta, so Bengali is his native tongue. So he's quoting Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati. Sharanagati is Bhaktivinoda's songbook about surrender. He wrote many songs about surrender. So Avashya Rakshabe Krishna means knowing that Krishna is going to protect us. And Krishna is going to provide for us. This is one of the items of surrender. Sometimes people ask, what does surrender mean? So it means that to know Krishna will protect us. So this is the point which Prabhupada is making there in the purport. We have to have that faith and confidence that Krishna will protect us. And Krishna will maintain us. That is surrender. So that's one of the questions there, which we have on the text. And then describe it also 2 aspects of tat karma pravartana. Would somebody like to tell us about that?
We have reached the end of it.
Huh?
We have reached the end of the class. The time.
Really? Time is up?
7:30.
Oh, okay. Time is up. We're finished.
2 devotees had some questions if you would like to ask.
Okay, we'll take 2 questions just to finish off.
So they posted it on the chat. I can read it out.
Okay, they're on the chat. 2 questions on the chat. We'll just go through them, right?
Are the deities Antaranga Shakti or Lord Himself?
Definitely, the deities are the Lord Himself. Okay, good point. But the Lord Himself is also within that category of Antaranga Shakti. You know, the Lord, His abode, that's all Antaranga Shakti, isn't it? You could say, well, the Lord is different from His energy. One and different, cannot separate.
And a second question, Maharaj. Is the devotee Tatastha Shakti or Antaranga Shakti?
Is a devotee Tatastha Shakti or Antaranga Shakti? Well, he is Tatastha Shakti, but he has that independence that he can be, he's meant to be under the Antaranga Shakti, but due to misuse of his independence, he often comes under the Bahiranga Shakti. So he's described there as the Tatastha Shakti. Sometimes he is described as the Antaranga Shakti, but that if we say he's Antaranga Shakti, then he couldn't become Bahiranga Shakti. Right? But he can, we know. So it's more correct to say he's Tatastha Shakti. But he finds his actual situation, it's actually better in the Antaranga Shakti. That's his natural position, to be with Krishna and serve Krishna in the Antaranga Shakti. But we cannot say he's Antaranga, we cannot say that he's not Tatastha. He is Tatastha Shakti, he is marginal. Okay? Huh?
Those were the questions.
Okay, so those are questions. Thank you for the questions. So we will stop here tonight, and we will be back on, not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, right? And we'll go on to text number 4, day after tomorrow. So please prepare. Look over text number 4. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki.
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just trying to get going with that, get everything. Because I just did 3 verses, so if I do about a verse a day, that's about right. Because at the end, they'll be shorter. Those, I don't want to go too fast, so just go over it with them.
Today there was so much interaction.
Yeah.
So many devotees were speaking.
Yeah.
I think because many of them are from Indonesia, they maybe
they're a bit shy.
Because
they're shy to speak.
Yes, because of English, even though translator is there, but they maybe.
Yeah, even though they had translated, they were still saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know English."
Yeah, they're still sort of not so sure about.
Huh?
Means they may feeling, but I think you made them feel very much at ease about answering the question.
Yeah, the transmission was not too bad, really.
Translation was
Yeah, it was quite good, yeah.
And he's doing both ways.
Yeah.
English to Indonesian and then also their answers to English.
Yeah. Yeah, difficult for them. They've all got this hair and beards.
Was there someone like that?
Huh?
Was there someone like that with the hair?
Oh yeah, a few of them.
Oh, but I think they are not from Indonesia. They may be.
Maybe other places.
I saw one person who had big beard and hair.
There was a few of them like that. Yeah.
I think some of them, I understand some of them are new.
Some of them are
from
new.
India. Those who are from India, some of them are newly joined, and their temple. The person who preached to them, they encourage them to do Bhakti Shastri right away.
Oh really? Right away?
So they can help with preaching and other services. So some of them are also maybe new, but some of them are also.
Yes, many of them don't have devotee names, they just have
Yes, they are not.